Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Peteonretreat. Today, we're going to talk about where you could find a good girlfriend here in Pattaya, Thailand. I could just see the comment section now. If you're new to the channel, in 2022, I sold nearly everything I owned so I could retire at age 49 and move to Thailand. A viewer recently commented that I should make a video talking about where to find a girlfriend in Thailand, specifically one that isn't working in the oldest industry on the planet. While the question was specifically about women that do not work in the night industries, I do want to jump on that subject first. You're probably aware that Pattaya is one of the red light capitals of the world. That whole realm permeates throughout this town, but it's not all this town is about. While I don't think it's necessarily very smart to be looking for love when it comes to women in that profession and bar girls, it is very possible. There are scores of men that aren't looking for love there, but end up finding it, and sometimes to actually good consequences. One of my older friends in town, one of my first friends here, has been married for 30 years, and he's the first to admit that his wife was a bar girl. He's incredibly happy with his family out here, and they've been staying in Pattaya for over 20 years. Bar girls and sex workers in general are human beings just like anybody else. There's plenty of them that would be happy to find a good partner, someone to fall in love with, and stop doing the work that they're doing. There are plenty more of them, however, that are absolutely fine with the work that they're doing and are likely to be very good at it, meaning they know how to manipulate you to get the most money out of you that they possibly can get. There's plenty of expats here or even tourists that will say they're all like that, but that's just not true. I'm not a fan of general stereotyping of any class of people, and that includes sex workers. Yes, many of them are just about the money, and many of them will do what they can to get as much from you as possible, but there's no reason to believe that they're all like that. I will say, however, that that is the last place that you should be looking for love if that's what you're looking for in this city. Now, as far as finding a normal woman here, somebody that doesn't work in that industry, that can be very tricky. I know plenty of people that have gone on dates with women that claim they don't work in that industry, only to have the woman make them an offer towards the end of the date. It's happened to me before too, and I understand why some folks think all the women in Pattaya will do things for money, but that's just not true. I've been here long enough and have talked to enough people to know that you could absolutely find a good partner even in this city. Even though I know plenty of people here in healthy relationships that found them here in Pattaya, the city of sin, including myself, I posted this question to some expat Facebook groups to see if I could get more ideas before making this video. I'll start with some of the places where I personally know people who have found good quality relationships here, and then I'll share some of the better answers that I got from Facebook. But before I get into that, I want to tell you all that for the month of December, Peteonretreat is officially teaming up with the Birdie Foundation. The Birdie Foundation is a self-funded, non-profit charity group here in Pattaya, Thailand, run by expats that have the simple mission of making lives better for those in need. Every Buy Me a Coffee donation made to Peteonretreat in the month of December will go to the Birdie Foundation and help us give out 200 stuffed Christmas stockings to children in need in this city. 'Tis the season for giving, and Buy Me a Coffee donations start as little as $5. So if you can, please give to Peteonretreat and the Birdie Foundation this month. I sincerely thank everybody for their support of this channel and of the foundation that's just made my life much more rewarding since I've moved here. So there's basically three places that you could find a girlfriend here in Pattaya or anywhere in the world, and that's going to be online, at work, or out in the wild. I'll say that most of the success stories I'm familiar with were with women either found at work or online, but I do know plenty of people that have just found good girlfriends out in the wild just by being friendly. Let's start with finding women at work. I mean, that's where I found Goy. I think the best thing about finding women at work is that you know they have a regular job somewhere. If you're really concerned about that old profession that many of them partake in, knowing they have a job at least lowers the chances that that's what they do. There are no guarantees though, and you have to be aware of that. Many of the women in this city, even with regular jobs, are willing to make professional arrangements. So finding them at work, what are we talking about? Well, I met my girlfriend at a restaurant/bar. I'm a regular customer there, and I knew her and a bunch of the staff. I didn't know her very well, and I had actually dated one of the other employees there, but we stopped going out months before Goy and I started talking. I basically asked her out one day, and she quickly told me she had no interest in dating and didn't want a boyfriend. I said, that's totally cool. I would love to have more friends, especially Thai friends and girlfriends. So we just started talking, and we talked a lot. We talked a lot for over a month until we actually went out on a date. I have a whole video about meeting her that I'll put in the description below. So yeah, restaurants, cafes and restaurants, not beer bars. Although you could find a girlfriend at a beer bar too, but finding people with regular jobs. Another place, believe it or not, 7-Eleven. My friend went out with a woman at 7-Eleven for many months. She was a great person, really took care of them. She was hardworking, just wanting to support her family, and as far as we could tell, she definitely wasn't into the boom boom for money side of life. Another good place is retail establishments, clothing stores and such. There's plenty of stores in the mall, and there's stores all around town. My friend's currently going out with a woman that works at the Pattaya night bazaar, and things are going really well there. She again is somebody that's not asking for money, doesn't seem like she would take money, and I'm very happy for the two of them. Next up, we have massage parlors. Yeah, I know some of you are wincing right there. Massage parlors, especially in this city, have a reputation for providing more than one kind of service, but not all parlors do that, and especially not all women that work in these parlors do that. I have a couple of friends that have found very good, nice women at massage parlors and are dating them to this day. That said, the chances are reasonably high that you'll find somebody that might make some extra money on the side doing something you don't like. I don't know how many times I'm going to touch on that in this video, but that is a reality of life, and I am not trying to dismiss it. Another place where I know people that have found success with women that are working in legit jobs is with real estate agents. Yeah, real estate agents and rental agents. I think taxi drivers too, although that's such freelance work, that's not really where I would look. Leasing agents in this town make a decent amount of money. They've got great connections. They are hardworking, sometimes too hardworking. I talked to a friend about this, and he said he would never date an agent because they're just kind of married to their work. They're always on call, and I don't know how true that is, but I figured I would mention it. Another very dependable option is online dating. Now, I haven't been single for going on a year now, so I don't really remember exactly what that was like. I did do online dating for a while out here, and online sites are filled with people in that industry, but there are also plenty of women that aren't. From my understanding, your chance of success on dating online or finding a normal woman is much higher in a city outside of this one, even just Bangkok, but especially getting out into the villages. There are countless numbers of Thai women out there looking for someone to sincerely love them and maybe more importantly, take care of them. It's no secret that's why many expats move out here to find love, and they prefer to try to do that out here over the West because of a bunch of reasons, and I'm not going to get into that in this video. There's several different dating apps that you could use, Tinder, Thai Friendly, something with the Cupid, maybe it's Thai Cupid. I really don't know what to say about any of them right now. I can't even tell you anymore what I was using. Now, a lot of the expats shared the same places that I shared and talked about finding women in the places where they work. But then they also talked about finding women in the wild, and I've seen some success stories from this too. One of the most popular places talked about happens to be the malls. There's two big malls in Pattaya and a couple smaller ones. There's Central, used to be called Central Festival, and there's Terminal 21. And I will attest, there are lovely looking women walking through the malls at all hours of the day, every day. I've got a friend that's not very shy and often just walks up to women and talks to them, and I can't tell you how many dates with very cool women he's found just walking around the mall. Another place that was suggested was at the local temples or even some of the Christian or Catholic churches. If you are a Christian or Catholic, finding a partner that follows that religion might be really cool. Someone else also pointed out that all of the Thai girls go to the temples no matter what kind of work they do. That might be true, I don't know. So I was walking by doing my vlog and I walked past London Bagel. It's a place in the Kazakhstan area here. The owner started chatting me up, and next thing I knew, he was sharing an everything bagel with me. Fantastic bagel, very good. We'll be coming back here soon, trying some of the sandwiches. They have huge sandwiches. I've heard really good things about this place, and it's great that I got an introduction to it and now have to come back. One of the better ideas I heard was to hang out at a cafe at or near a hospital. They said that nurses and doctors are very receptive to striking up friendships and conversations with well-mannered and well-groomed men. Often these folks have immersed themselves in study and career and find themselves looking for more in the way of the social life. I thought that advice was pretty funny because it reminded me of advice that I was given when I first moved here. My buddy Wolfgang, the owner of the Smoker's Garden, told me that if you want to find a good woman in Thailand, even in this crazy city of Pattaya, here's what you do. Go to a hospital and sit down on one of the benches. When one of the nurses comes up to you and asks you what's wrong, look at them with sincerity and tell them you're there because you have a broken heart. Wolfgang said that if that nurse is single, she's likely to want to go out with you on the spot, but if she's got a boyfriend or a husband, she'll go and find one of her friends and bring them to you. Another commenter said that if you can find somebody that owns a business, there's lots of women here in town that own businesses like bars and restaurants, nail salons, hairdressers, massage shops, even just like burger stalls or small food places. This person went on to say that the top dollar earners are 7-Eleven franchise owners, bail bonds, injury lawyers, and people that buy any car. Not exactly sure what that refers to, but I'm sure you could Google it. Now, this last part I'm going to talk about isn't so much about where to find a good girlfriend, but just an aspect that you can find and it's a good sign. It's actually one of my ideas, and it's kind of morbid. I don't know, it's a little cold-hearted, but I've seen it work out for people. I've met a few people that are in this situation, and each of them seems to be very happy. So what the heck am I talking about? I'm talking about widows. It's no secret that most of the expats that come here date very younger women. My girlfriend is 11 years younger than me, and that's a kind of conservative age gap compared to many out here. That leads to quite a high number of widows here that had expat husbands. More often than not, these expat husbands and boyfriends leave everything to their widows. So their widows are not engaged in these oldest profession type activities. These widows are all taken care of, if not actually well off. And when they're looking for somebody, they're just looking for somebody that they can be happy with, that they enjoy spending time with, that will be there to support them emotionally, will be a good friend, will be a good partner in life. Because they are set up financially, they are very unlikely to be engaging in any of the oldest profession activities we've been talking about. I can make a whole video on determining the quality of a potential partner and what you should look for, but really that is so, I don't know, up to each individual. It's very subjective and everybody wants and needs something else from their partner. What I can say is I have a bit of advice that goes a long way into helping you have a better chance of keeping and maintaining a healthy relationship out here. This book is amazing, and it is a roadmap on explaining the cultural differences that often ruin relationships out here. I cannot recommend this book enough, and I will be talking about it in next week's video on peteonretreat. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment down below, give this video a like. As always, this is peteonretreat, and I wish you were here.